Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, and entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things. We see them in. But I'm just going to get into this video. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, if any of you guys are just following this, we just recently did a live of the bombshell story that just broke in the NBA that Kevin Durant, via Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN, has requested to be traded from the Brooklyn Nets to either the Miami Heat or the Phoenix Suns. This information just broke less than 30 minutes ago. It all obviously depends on when you guys are watching this watching this video, but this is a bombshell. This is a bombshell, and I got to tell you that I'm all up in arms about this video because about this story because I just cannot believe it. And KD made a request directly to Nets owner Joe Tsai. Today's sources tell ESPN, according to Adrian Wojnarowski. You guys can definitely go check that information out. On his Twitter or on ESPN, right? So we just did a live about this. And we were basically trying to pick up the pieces and understand how in God's name did we get to this point? How did we arrive at this conclusion? Just 2 seasons ago, the Brooklyn Nets were the scariest team in the NBA and the perennial favorites, betting favorites every season going into the NBA to win the NBA championship. Just last season alone, the Brooklyn Nets were the favorite team to win the NBA championship. What ended up happening? Well, y'all know what happened. So we don't need to do the revisionist history, but we all know what happened. And people were wondering what's going to happen with this, what's going to happen with that. Kyrie Irving, he was trying to find suitable, the teams to go with. And then Kyrie ultimately found out that nobody wanted him except the Lakers. And then now we get this news today that Kevin Durant has requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets. And I say bravo. Good for him. Good for KD for getting out of a messy, disastrous situation in Brooklyn. I'm happy for Kevin Durant, but this brings us to Kyrie Irving. As I was just following the news, I was listening to, ESPN, and Brian Windhorst was breaking the story, and he revealed some more interesting information that, in fact, the Brooklyn Nets are looking to trade Kyrie Irving as well and get off all of these guys once and for all. So for those of you who missed Brian Windhorst talking about that or haven't heard that, take a listen to this audio. Brian Windhorst basically saying that the Brooklyn Nets want to clear the deck and get Kyrie the hell up out of there. Take a listen to what he had to say there, and then we're going to come back and react to this video. Take a listen to that right there.
Today, according to Woj. So obviously, this is going to dwarf anything that happens tonight in free agency. So I'll just, start with you, Wendy. What do you think?
It's obviously surprising in the moment, the timing, but this has been coming for the rest of this week. It's been a topic of conversation amongst top NBA players for a few days, but you never know whether Durant's actually going to go through with it. It's such a major thing. I think there are a couple of things right now that I just want to say in the instant wake of this news. Number one, it appears as if the Brooklyn Nets are going to honor the request and try to find a trade for Kevin Durant. And I will tell you that teams have been working on for this contingency for the last few days. They will hit the ground running. It would not be surprised to me if it happens relatively soon. The second thing is, I believe this will also mean Kyrie Irving will potentially be on the trade market as well. I believe that they will probably trade both of them. How that can be worked out and how that all play out. The Nets didn't want status quo. They're not going to have status quo.
No.
And I think we're going to see a pretty significant power balance. Kevin Durant is one of the top 3 or 4 players in the league. This will dramatically affect the balance of power in the NBA and will dramatically affect how next season and the next few seasons will play out.
Kevin Durant is one of the 10 or 12 best players in the history of basketball. He's signed for the next 4 years, and he's about to be traded to another team. There are very few moments in the NBA, history of the NBA, frankly, that are bigger than this. When you talk about players of this magnitude, even at 34 years old, to be a player of this caliber, changing teams, it is a seismic moment in the league. To Brian's point about a change in the power balance, wherever Kevin Durant goes, he's not going to go to a team, in theory, that's completely devoid of assets once they trade for him. He's going to go to a team that's going to be able to contend for a championship.
You heard what the report had to say, that the Brooklyn Nets, in fact, are looking for a way to trade Kyrie Irving. And to that, I say, good for them. Good for them. The Brooklyn Nets are looking like the clown show of the NBA right now. They're the team in the NBA that is truly, or that was truly devoid of leadership, and you just saw it. Let me ask y'all a question. Who's the leader in the Brooklyn Nets? Who's steering the ship with the Brooklyn Nets? Was it KD? Well, hell no. It wasn't him. Was it Kyrie? Well, maybe. Is it Sean Marks? Possibly. Is it Steve Nash? Maybe. Was it Joe Tsai? Could be. No one knew. And this is what happens when you have organizations that have all the talent but don't have that have zero leadership. To me, it is unconscionable that Kevin Durant 2 years ago had an opportunity to, I believe, play with LeBron James or Kawhi Leonard and pass that up to play with Kyrie Irving. Well, let me ask y'all a basketball question. Let's take the vaccine, all of that. Let's just get all of that stuff off the table. We're talking strictly basketball. When did Kyrie Irving become worth all of this drama? What team has Kyrie Irving ever led to an NBA championship or to an NBA finals where we're like, you know what? He's worth all. When did that ever happen? When did Kyrie Irving turn into Stephen Curry? Why were people making all of these concessions for this guy? And let me tell you what's going to happen. The people like Stephen A. Smiths of the world are going to come for him. And if Kyrie, in fact, does get traded, you better believe that he's going to be one of the culprits in this entire disaster. Some people are going to blame Kevin Durant, and I blame him. I blame Kevin Durant primarily for listening to Kyrie. Primarily. Who does that? Who? Who do you know? Minus the vaccine, show me the evidence of a scenario in which Kyrie Irving was the leader of a ship and he steered it in the right direction. When did that ever happen? And it got so bad that KD said to himself, enough is enough. Yeah, I know you're my boy, but I gotta bounce. I want to go somewhere where people are actually going somewhere. And now we've heard that he's requested to go play with the Miami Heat. Good for him. You want to go play with Miami? Good for you. You're going to be playing in a structured environment with the culture, with the hierarchy, with the coach that knows what the hell he's doing. Good for you. I support that move. Good for him. Brooklyn was a disaster from top to bottom. And it has now come to the point where they're looking to trade Kyrie Irving. So just think about this. In a span of 3 years, the Brooklyn Nets went from having James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. Then they lost James Harden, gained Ben Simmons, a player that refused to play basketball. Now they're going to lose Kevin Durant, lose Kyrie, and be left with Ben freaking Simmons. Bravo for being the clown show of the NBA. Bravo. Bravo. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Catch y'all on the next episode. Peace.